Raider Nation, what's going on? You're watching the Raiders Report. Mitchell Renz here from Chat Sports. And coming up here on today's show is our Las Vegas Raiders 2023 UDFA tracker. Once the 2023 draft ended, the Raiders had 82 players on their roster. NFL rosters can have up to 90. Therefore, you can sign 8 UDFAs. So at this current moment, the Raiders have a total of 8 UDFAs, 90 players on their roster. If they want to add an extra player, they will have to move on from somebody and cut someone. If they do decide to do that, well then, hey, I'm going to update it down in the comments and in the description of today's video. But I always tell you this, if you got that commitment to excellence, so do we here have at this show. We've had a video go out on this channel every single day for close to 3 years, but if you're looking for free Raiders content, not only do we get crazy on our live shows, we also do content just like you're going to see now. So please hit that subscribe button. All right, so this is what we're going to do here. I'm going to roll through all 8 of the UDFAs that we have, and the first one is George Tarlas, the edge rusher from Boise. I do have notes, so I'm going to be reading off the notes that I have on each of these guys, so please bear with me on this one. 6'3", 253 pounds, flashes strength at the point of attack with active, violent hand use, forceful with his upper body to defeat blocks, strong hustle player, aggressive with good awareness to track the ball and attack, tenacious, he's tough, competitive, and versatile. Offers some versatility, rushing from a 2- and 3-point stance with the playing speed to stand up in space. Flashes some strength as a bull rusher, and his energy, doesn't plateau. In terms of a weakness, lacks overpowering strength and can't stick to blockers. Remember, a lot of these guys more than likely were not going to get drafted. To me, though, the top UDFA that the Raiders signed, and Chugs queued up, honestly, it's not even close. It's Curtis McClendon to me, offensive lineman from Chattanooga. I mean, I'm telling you right now, McClendon Curtis. Sorry, I read it backwards. I don't know why I did that. McClendon Curtis, easily the top guy here for the Raiders out of all the UDFAs. He's going to make the 53-man roster in my book. To me, he's that talented. In fact, Tom Downey had him ranked. Also on top of that, the Raiders, to me, they could still use a right guard. So he's someone to definitely look at. Flashes some versatility combined with good hand strength and power. His length gives him a potential shot at offensive tackle, though I think for him to make it in the NFL, which is what he's going to try to do, look for him to play offensive guard. I had him in a mock draft, actually, one of the ones I did on local, so that was kind of cool. Facing a big-time jumping competition compared to FCS opponents, but one of the things that I always look at is I want someone who's long and athletic. Is he up there in age? 24, yes. Carmen Brasillo is going to look at him and say, I might be able to make him into something. And if he is, he has that athletic ability. 6'5", basically 6'6", 324 pounds. Overall, this is the best UDFA signing by the Las Vegas Raiders. Before we continue to roll through the other 6 UDFA signings, here's who the Raiders ended up picking in the 2023 NFL Draft. Tyree Wilson, Michael Mayer, Byron Young, Tre Tucker. Those were your first 4 picks. Then they went Jakorian Bennett, the cornerback out of Maryland, Aidan O'Connell. Ziegler said that they felt like they weren't going to get him, so for that reason, they had to trade up and go out and get him. Then your other picks here where the Raiders had to get creative. You started draft day with 12 picks overall, but you finished with 9. Then Christopher Smith traded up to get him, safety out of Georgia. Amari Burney, linebacker from Florida. He went in round 6, 203. And then to round out the Raiders 2023 draft, Nesta, Jade, Silvera, the defensive tackle from Arizona State. Those were the 9 picks. So you saw where the Raiders went with the draft. We've obviously seen where they've gone with free agency moves on top of that. And speaking of free agency, you had about $16 million in cap space. So when you look at all those picks, what I want to know from you is, who's your favorite pick made by the Raiders in terms of the 2023 NFL Draft? Was it defense? Was it offense? Let me know who your favorite pick was made by the Raiders. Let's go to the next player here for UDFA. It's Dalton Wagner, offensive tackle from Arkansas. And to me, he looks like he could probably break a tree down with his bare hands. But in terms of Wagner, he's a giant. 6'8", 320 pounds. He is up there in age compared to some of these other guys with being 25 and all. But Wagner has rare size and pretty incredible length at the tackle position with much better play strength than typical you see from the tackles of his height. Uses his long arms to punch with his hands. His overall ability and pass pro plays to his favor, but the run blocking is subpar. Wagner is a right tackle only prospect, but pass protective is very valuable in the league, which gives him a chance to make the roster. Before I show you the fourth UDFA, today's show is presented by ZBiotics, and I'll tell you what, I definitely I need some ZBiotics after the draft week we've had. So you can use it at Chat Sports is the promo code 15% off at zbiotics.com/chat. Sports. The Raiders Report is sponsored by ZBiotics. Let's face it, after y'all hit me with a bunch of crazy super chats during the draft, I don't quite bounce back the next day. That is until I found ZBiotics. ZBiotics Pre-Alcohol Probiotic is the world's first genetically engineered probiotic. It was invented by PhD scientists to tackle rough mornings after drinking. Here's how it works. When you drink, alcohol gets converted into a toxic byproduct in the gut. It's this byproduct, not dehydration, that's the blame for your rough next day. ZBiotics produces an enzyme to break this byproduct down. It's designed to work like your liver, but in your gut. Where you need it the most, drink ZBiotics before drinking alcohol. Drink responsibly and get a good night's sleep to feel your best tomorrow. Give ZBiotics a try for yourself. Go to zbiotics.com/chatsports to get 15% off your first order when you use code CHATSPORTS at checkout. ZBiotics is backed with 100% money back guaranteed, so if you're unsatisfied for any reason, they'll refund your money, no questions asked. Remember to head to zbiotics.com/chatsports and use code CHATSPORTS at checkout for 50% off. Thank you very much, ZBiotics, for sponsoring the Raiders Report. So here's how simple it is. 1, have a ZBiotics. 2, drink responsibly. 3, enjoy your day tomorrow. Let's now go to the next UDFA pick here by the Las Vegas Raiders. Cornerback from UCLA, Azizi Hearn. In terms of what you're going to get from him, 6 foot, 204 pounds, and originally enrolled at Arizona as a walk-on in 2017. He then transferred to Wyoming in 2019, where he was a 3-year starter. Then he transferred to UCLA in 2022. Hearn has very good size for the position and is a good overall athlete. Hearn is best in man coverage, where he is able to use his size and physicality to his advantage. He is a reliable player in coverage, but lacks the top-end athleticism to excel against receivers, especially against 50 balls. Next, UDFA here, number 5, Jaydon Grant. Safety from Oregon State, 5'11", 190 pounds. Tom did not have him ranked, but in terms of strengths, Grant can flip his hips and run with good top-end speed and the length to make plays on the ball. He can track the ball downfield and gets his head around when playing in trail positions, and Grant shows excellent ball skills when breaking on a route. Plus, he's a decent tackler. In terms of things that he doesn't do well, tends to play conservative and give too much cushion when playing off. Grant doesn't track the ball very well downfield, and he seems to lack the ball skills to break up plays. So depending on where the ball is where he can struggle. If you haven't already seen my Raiders 2023 draft grades, please go check it out. I broke down all 9 of the prospects that the Silver and Black took in the 2023 draft. Check it out. I gave an A. I also gave a grade as low as a D. Let me know what you have to think, though, about my grades, which are going to be found in the comments and in the description of today's show. Next UDFA here, number 6, it's Brock Martin, edge rusher from Oklahoma State. Another player that you're going to see some versatility to me, he could probably play outside linebacker in a 3-4. Martin held his own when he was asked also to drop back into coverage. 6'1", basically 6'2", 240 pounds. His closing burst is really legit and routinely finishes plays. His range and toughness as a run defender, he is capable of dropping the anchor to set the edge. Martin has the quickness and flexibility to consistently dip and bend around the edge. Here's the problem, though. He's not quite as good of an athlete. If you want a good motor, Martin's going to bring that to the table. He also offers you some versatility. Next player here that the Raiders signed as a UDFA, it's Drake Thomas, linebacker from NC State. Overall, I was looking for when the Raiders were going to add a linebacker sooner rather than later. 5'11", 223 pounds. What exactly you're going to get with Thomas is he's an aggressive defender that stands out when you look at a lot of the defensive plays. physical downhill defender that can quickly process the run and triggers relentless pursuit, probably hoping to be more of just a special teams player. And here's one of my favorite notes that I found on him. Drake Thomas is a likable college player, but is missing key characteristics when projecting him at the next level. In terms of like what you want in a prototypical NFL player, he doesn't have it. But he's a good locker room guy and probably could be a fit on special teams. And then the final name here, Adam Plant Jr., edge from UNLV. I don't know if I was going to plant my flag in this one, but now I'm saying it out loud. Seems kind of weird. Mr. Plant's his dad. 6'5", 255 pounds, tall, thin linebacker who's been very productive the past 3 years, relentless, moves well around the field, and is rarely off of his feet. In terms of weaknesses, again, he's just small. If you feel like that you can put a few pounds on him and really bulk him up, I do think that he has at least some sort of upside. Overall, Plant was a solid defensive player for UNLV and comes with some upside, but he might get stronger and stouter to have a place at the next level. If you want to be able to interact with me on social media, it's Twitter, Instagram, and Cameo at MitchellRents365. And if you want to hang out with some of the diehards over on Locals, it's RaidersReport.locals.com. All right, so let's look at one more time here the Raiders 2023 UDFAs. From my knowledge, as it stands right now, I am reading that Dalton Wagner is the highest paid UDFA on this list. The Raiders gave him $225 in total guarantees and $25,000 in terms of signing bonus. For comparison, Hearn down there from UCLA, he got $18,000. So when you see those type of numbers, that really indicates to me that the Raiders do have some belief here overall in the players that they're bringing in, especially from what it sounds like in Dalton Wagner. And the 9th UDFA for the Las Vegas Raiders. I was literally getting ready to pack up for the day, and then the Raiders added another UDFA, which now puts them at 91 players on the roster out of 90. Who did they add? Tight end from Auburn, John Samuel Shenker. I mean, this is more, to me, just of a depth piece at the tight end position. What I'm going to be doing tomorrow here on the Raiders Report is because the Raiders have 91 out of 90, the video is me going to be predicting the top 5, top 10 players that the Silver and Black are most likely getting prepared to move on from. Or could it be a trade? Who knows? Maybe Hunter Renfrow? No, that's the list. You got 8 names. Remember, if the Raiders decide to add another, well, then I will update it down in the description. I will update it as well down in the comments. But let me know, who's your favorite UDFA signing by the Raiders? For me, it's McClendon. To me, he's the one guy that I really, truly will put money on, saying that he's going to end up making the Raiders 53-man roster.